Coming up from Sun and Fun in Lakeland, Florida, we fly with a thundering herd of Mustangs.
The latest news on BasicMed and flying without a third-class medical certificate. News on the latest aircraft updates.
And a gift from France. AOPA Live this week is coming at you in just a moment.
The dream is real, a truly affordable personal jet aircraft. The Subsonics kit is priced at only $42,000. Kit plus engine is still under $100K. Add instruments, upholstery, and paint and you're flying at SonicsAircraft.com.
Hello and welcome to Sun and Fun in Lakeland, Florida. This is the first major air show of the season and it's off to a great start.
Sun and Fun reports that pre-show ticket sales well exceed last year's count and the weather has been good so far.
Lots of people on the grounds just soaking up aviation, and AOPA has its biggest presence yet here in Florida.
Lots of interesting seminars and programs in the program pavilion and lots of friendly AOPA staffers to help you with whatever your needs are in the AOPA tent.
Of course, the big issue this year is BasicMed and AOPA's Fit to Fly program. Our medical and legal experts answered a constant stream of questions in the AOPA tent. The BasicMed seminars in the adjoining program pavilion are among the most highly attended. The upcoming change to allow pilots to fly without a third-class medical is perhaps the most impactful change in aviation regulations in some 20 years.
We have always kept the accident rate with respect to medical incapacitation as low as it is because we've all used really good judgment. We don't fly when we don't feel well. The FAA doctors, who, believe me, were not in favor of this as a group, opine that we have thrown away 50 plus years of aviation medicine with the development of BasicMed. I disagree. I think we now have an opportunity to demonstrate an alternative way of meeting the safety requirements without the regulatory and bureaucratic interference that the FAA has put on pilots as a body.
So here's where we stand right now on BasicMed. The regulations take effect May 1st. You can fly on a BasicMed certificate after that if you meet the basic qualifications, you have the sign-off from your doc, and you've completed the online education course. The form the doc needs is now awaiting approval from the White House Office of Management and Budget. AOPA's online medical course is also done and is also awaiting OMB action. But FAA says it's committed to having everything ready on or before May 1st. You can find out everything you need to know in our Fit to Fly resources on our websites.
Pilots we talked to around the Sun and Fun grounds thought BasicMed was a good thing.
Well, I think it's a long time coming. The third class routine you have to go through had always been aggravating, and I think it led a lot of pilots to not be perfectly honest with their doctor.
There's a lot of pilots that are going to get the opportunity to come back into aviation when they just have a hangar that's wasting away.
And BasicMed was a hot topic at Mark Baker's Pilot Town Hall and Ice Cream Social.
But not the only topic heating things up. There was also AOPA's campaign to get fair prices and fees at some FBOs that have a lock at a small number of airports.
And we don't think it's right that you should be held hostage with a high ramp fee or high fuel prices to offset it when you've only got one FBO. We believe in competition. Competition really takes care of a lot of this, but where we are down to one, we think maybe you need to start looking at how do you create some free ramp space, unfettered access, so I can go from a public runway to a public roadway without paying a $300 access fee. This is a big new fight, and this can be tough. It's going to be hard, but we're going to need your help on this one, whether we have to do it through legislation, whether we have to do it through the Attorney General, or whatever means necessary by putting pressure on people that are not treating general aviation as a public good and just as a profit center.
You can expect to hear more about this in the near future. In the meantime, if you think an FBO has charged you an egregious fee, we invite you to visit our website and report it. We're tracking reports from all across the country.
And Mark was a busy man this week. Shortly after spending fun time with members at Sun and Fun, he was winging back to Washington to testify before Congress.
We see problems. We don't see any problems from our perspective in general aviation and business aviation as it relates to air traffic control towers. They work very efficiently, very well for movements of hundreds of thousands of general aviation aircraft. We do think that if there are things that should be done differently, we should be open-minded about it. But one of the things we're not open-minded about at all is any kind of user fees. We have a fuel tax we think is very efficient. As we look around the world and what's happened with privatization, it hasn't been a positive for general aviation or business aviation.
He also touted the benefits of public-private partnerships for airports. He said the Metropolitan Airport Commission in Minneapolis has proven the concept at his home airport in Anoka by using private capital to complete extensive hangar development.
Of course, it goes without saying that airplanes need airports and hangars, and a show like Sun and Fun is an opportunity to see what's new in airplanes and avionics. No groundbreaking announcements from any of the airframe folks, but lots of nice evolutionary changes. Piper said that customers can now opt for a 5-blade composite Hartzell prop on its newly certified M600. No performance increase, but a 15-pound weight savings, and that's worth something. Dower announced upgrades to the TBM 900, now called the 910. It features some interior refinements and Garmin's new G1000 NXI. Textron Aviation is showing off some of its piston line of airplanes, also equipped with the new Garmin G1000 NXI. From the speedy Cessna TTX to the stately Beechcraft Baron. Front and center is the Cessna 206 HD, the latest version of the company's well-loved workhorse. In addition to the new panel, the 206 HD can handle more than 1,600 pounds of fuel, people, or anything else you can stuff through that wide aft double door. That's almost 200 pounds more than the previous 206. The versatile airplane can handle up to 6 passengers. The seats can be stripped out in a utility configuration, or a cargo pod can be added.
It's now got 2 doors, the new Mooney. The high-performance piston single maker is meeting with the press at Sun and Fun. New CEO Vivek Saxena touted the certification of the new Ovation Ultra and Acclaim Ultra. The new models, with 2 cockpit doors and numerous enhancements over the earlier M20s, will be the company's bread and butter for the next 5 to 10 years, according to the CEO.
We have basically delivered what the market was asking for. And starting with the most visible change, which is 2 doors, and the enhanced avionics and the better interior, the more like a luxury car interior, there are over 50 major and minor changes.
The company has second and third tier strategic plans for continued investment to create follow-on products for the coming decades. Meanwhile, the company said it does not plan to produce the diesel-powered M10 trainer announced in late 2014 and being designed in Chino, California. But the effort forms the foundation for ongoing R&D efforts. And another LSA premiered at Sun and Fun, the Viper SD4 from Eagle Aircrafts. The all-metal design has been flying in Europe for some 10 years. Now it's being marketed commercially in the U.S. The company says the Rotex-powered aircraft has a 600 nautical mile range and base price is just under $90,000.
As we told you in our last episode, lots of movement around the idea of bringing proven gear from the experimental world into certified airplanes. And to that end, True Track Flight Systems here at Sun and Fun announced that it has received parts manufacturer approval to install its Vision Autopilot into numerous models of 172s and 177 Cardinals. As a result, for $1,000, you can now buy an STC from EAA for the Autopilot installation kit, basically the brackets and the hardware needed to install the Autopilot.
And now here in this last year, the FAA has actually really stepped up and said, hey, we'd really like to see these things done under PMA. And so there's a new PMA pathway that's a risk-based PMA that lets us assess the risk of the project and with the ACO and kind of move that thing through the process in a little bit different way. So it's really decreased the amount of time and energy that we have to do with the back and forth with the MIDOs and things like that on what our quality system looks like.
The risk-based PMA Barker mentions is part of a new path the FAA has been open to that makes it easier for manufacturers to bring safety-enhancing equipment into legacy airplanes. But hey, this is no basic autopilot. It comes with plenty of capability. The digital autopilot can fly a course, or when connected to a portable GPS, fly a route. You can program a rate of climb or descent and a desired altitude. The autopilot will take you there and level you off. If you lose situational awareness, hit the blue level button to have it immediately right to the airplane. By AirVenture, Barker hopes to be able to connect to a panel mount GPS and have it fly approaches as well. He says the full up price, including the install kit, about $5,000. Stay tuned, lots more on such developments in coming weeks. If you ask pilots their favorite aircraft, it's a good chance they're going to say a P-51 Mustang. The iconic fighter helped win World War II. Its distinctive sound and beautiful lines continue to wow crowds generations after the design ever saw military service.
They are kept alive by a special breed of pilot, and those pilots are kept alive by highly specialized training. At the center of the Mustang universe is the Stallion 51 Corporation. It's the place for Mustang training, and it has been for 30 years. AOPA Live's Paul Harrop shows us how they keep them flying.
They call him Mr. Mustang. 21,000 hours total time, nearly 10,000 in a Mustang.
Lee is the guy. He is, people say it and it's true. He's Mr. Mustang.
And for 3 decades, he's been leading the world's premier Mustang training center, Stallion 51. Training is where it all began.
With a Navy test pilot school contract. And short order, told the bank we had a contract, told the military we had an airplane, everything passed in the middle of the night.
That led to the first pony in the stable, a TF-51 named Crazy Horse. The two-seater has become one of the most photographed Mustangs of all time. In 30 years, there have been close to 200 graduates of the Mustang course.
Well, it's a very high standard. It's a syllabus, all syllabus driven. Takes about 5 days, flying, twice a day normally.
The intense program has produced some of the world's most famous Mustang airshow pilots. Ed Shipley started the Four Horsemen team.
The very core value of all the flying that I do, all the safety things, all the performance stuff, all the skill sets that I've learned have come out of being down around Stallion and flying with Lee.
Ed and other graduates gathered at Stallion 51 headquarters ahead of Sun and Fun to mark 3 decades of Mustang excellence. But it wasn't a party. True to Stallion roots, it was focused on safety and education.
For us to come down here and get that kind of expertise in these little forums it's pretty priceless.
Priceless training that will help these elite pilots continue to fly safely as the men and machines continue to age.
If you look at it, everybody goes, well, when the last Mustang guy dies, the chapter's closed. No, it's just a new chapter. And, with the talent that's coming on board and some of the dedicated people that are coming on board, I think we can easily go for the next 25 or 30 years.
And among the graduates is a part of that next chapter in the story of Mustang, one of the younger program graduates.
Well, Andrew McKenna is a really good example. Came in very planned, very disciplined, went through our whole checkout program, and went on to not only fly the Mustang, but fly it very well.
Andrew credits all that to Lee and Stallion 51.
There is no other place where you can get real military-like training on these aircraft. Learning how to do buffet tracking, learning how to do aborted takeoffs, knowing how to stall the aircraft, knowing how to recover from really unusual attitudes. I mean, if it wasn't for Stallion, I can just tell I wouldn't be standing here. There's just no way.
Andrew's training with Lee has led him to be the newest pilot in the Heritage Flight program. He makes his first flight at Sun and Fun. It's one of many opportunities fostered by Lee Louderback and Stallion 51.
He's the encyclopedia of Mustangs.
Everything stems from the top down to the bottom in any organization. And for Lee to be that committed to this airplane and to demonstrate it and do it at the highest level, that just speaks volumes. And, a lot of these guys out here, all the graduates that are out here, are a testament to that.
At Kissimmee Gateway Airport, Paul Harrop, AOPA Live.
You can see more of our video from the Stallion 51 gathering at AOPAlive.org.
Wow, those are some beautiful airplanes, man. Just stunning. I mean, so beautiful, such beautiful lines on those things. And it's really great how they keep them flying and the great work that Stallion 51 is doing to keep the pilots flying safe.
A flying legacy, I like that.
Yeah, really. Well, when we come back, kids who want to learn aviation by doing.
And a red, white, and blue air show with an accent. AOPA Live this week from Sun and Fun continues in just a moment.
The smoke is on. Perfect start. He's putting on the pressure. What a dramatic finale!
The Red Bull Air Race World Championship returns to San Diego Bay, April 15th and 16th, and play Red Bull Air Race, the game.
General Aviation and Aviation Education lost a real friend last weekend. And while he had a profound impact on a lot of people, you probably don't know his name. And he wanted it that way. James Ray was a World War II aviator, and he was awarded the Air Medal and Distinguished Flying Cross. After the war, he became a successful businessman, entrepreneur, and venture capitalist. He kept his passion for flying, though, and he quietly donated millions to bring that passion to others.
James was not in it for his name on buildings or in the spotlight. He really wanted to make a difference and made sure that the programs he supported were really making a difference for people in aviation, particularly youth in aviation.
Youth had a very special place in Ray's heart. The Central Florida Aerospace Academy is a monument to his generosity.
Ended up talking when we needed a bigger building for our school. We showed him the proposal, the business plan for we had to expand the high school for more young adults to learn aviation, and he was generous enough to donate the money for the school building.
The nation's largest high school flying club owes its home to Ray.
Jim had a love for students. It was always so much fun to work with James Ray because he had such a passion. And so not only did he give a lot of endowments for scholarships and help provide some funds for some facilities and stuff we have, but he always had such a passion for students.
The AOPA Foundation and AOPA's You Can Fly program have benefited greatly from James Ray's generosity.
There's going to be a special place in heaven for a guy like James Ray, I'll tell you that.
So he was a very generous guy, quite the philanthropist, and a really amazing pilot too. And one of those guys, World War II guys, that if he had just stopped everything after World War II, he would have been a really successful person. And then he went on to just do this other amazing stuff. So
it really is amazing the difference one person can make, and he certainly has.
He certainly has made a difference.
As we just mentioned, Lakeland Linder Airport is home to the Lakeland Aero Club, a flying club for high school students. The club helps youth interested in aviation pursue their goals. The Aero Club is adding a Redbird FMX full motion simulator, and they had an unusual request for Redbird. Instead of having Redbird assemble a sim, the club members wanted to do the assembly themselves so they could learn more about it. Two of the club's student leaders, Katie Esker and Sean Stoltz, visited Redbird headquarters in Austin, Texas, to learn how to do the assembly. Katie and Sean, along with other club members, are now working on assembling the sim here at Sun and Fun.
It's amazing. I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning how to use tools and everything, and it's a really cool piece of equipment. We're going to use this so much with our flight training and everything, and we're going to be able to get a lot of hours on this, so that's really cool.
The Lakeland Aero Club students are hoping to have the simulator assembled in just 2 days.
You haven't been flying for a while. It might take you a bit more than 2 days to get current again, but surprisingly, it isn't all that hard. That's what more than 80 people discovered at our You Can Fly Rusty Pilot seminar here at Sun and Fun.
We have had great success with our You Can Fly initiative. Rusty Pilots is, we're going to do 250 seminars this year. Over 40% of the people who are rusty that came to a seminar last year finished their flight review. That's incredible. We've seen now well over 3,000 pilots get current and back into the left seat because of the Rusty Pilots initiative.
You can find Rusty Pilot seminars throughout the country, including at our regional fly-ins. You'll get caught up on everything that might have changed since you stopped flying, and when you're finished, you'll be all ready to go book a flight or two with the CFI to get your biennial flight review all done, and then you'll be back in the air before you know it.
Another piece of AOPA's You Can Fly initiatives are the regional ambassadors. They fly with these yellow 152s around their regions, introducing folks to general aviation.
That if we put people out in the field who can actually help one-on-one or 12-on-1 or whatever works, people get back into aviation through the Rusty Pilot program, or help high school and college students get into aviation, help people start flying clubs. Whatever the user needs, we've got somebody out in the field that can help them do it, and man, it's just the greatest program. It's truly successful.
And Jamie admits one of the best things about being an ambassador is the yellow 152 as a company car.
And one of my favorite things with it is I often get to give people their first flight in an airplane right here in this aircraft. I absolutely love it. They get to fly, I get to experience the joy with them, and I get to kind of reminisce about it on my way home.
And there was another company airplane on the grounds of Sun and Fun, the AOPA 172 Sweepstakes. This airplane has been refurbished from spinner to tail, and project manager Jill Tallman says just like the yellow 152s, it still attracts a crowd.
And just be prepared for people to ask all kinds of interesting questions. Like, why does it have two pitot tubes? One's a regular pitot tube, and one is for the angle of attack indicator.
Yuengling did the rebuild. The updated panel includes the Garmin G5, and Jill says the Vortex generators on the wing and tail lower the stall speed and improve low-speed handling. And of course, you could win this capable 172. Details are on our websites. And finally, what draws a lot of people to Sun and Fun is the air show, of course. One group of performers that drew big crowds is the Patrouille de France.
That's the precision aerobatic demonstration team of the French Air Force. AOPA Live's Josh Cochran has more.
Trailing red, white, and blue smoke, the Patrouille de France roars over Lakeland at the beginning of their first U.S. tour in over 30 years.
It's an honor for us to be here because the main reason of our presence here is to commemorate the World War I entry by the United States in 1917.
The team performs in these Alpha jets, which are twin-engine trainers. They wow crowds with their 8-ship formation.
Really, really good aircraft for aerobatics. Quick, fast, and dynamic. So you will see a show that will always stay in the field of view of the spectators and very dynamic and smart.
The special paint scheme, created just for the U.S. tour, commemorates French World War I fighter aces. Each jet has a painting on the nose honoring a different ace. The performance honors the continuing military partnership between the French and the U.S., with a sky painting of the American flag to end the show.
Today, far from here, far from their families, US fighter pilots and French fighter pilots are fighting together against terrorism. And that's why we're here, also to reinforce our brotherhood we have together.
Josh Cochran, AOPA Live.
The team will be performing across the country over the next few months, so look for them at an air show near you. Beautiful.
Yeah, really spectacular. Really red, white, and blue smoke. It's really spectacular to watch some great looking airplanes. And that does it for us from Sun and Fun, but the show continues through Sunday here in Lakeland. So if you're in the Central Florida area, we do hope you'll drop in and see your AOPA friends here in our big tent next to the FAA building.
And we hope to see you back here next week for another edition of AOPA Live This Week.
Purchasing your own aircraft is an exciting experience. AOPA Finance simplifies the process, saving you money with lower interest rates and hassle-free loans, so you get into your new aircraft sooner. AOPA Finance, the right approach to buying an aircraft.